Good morning, everyone. I'm here to talk a little bit about platforms and platform teams. I think this is a bit of a myth. Platform engineers build stuff with Kubernetes. In fact, I know that this is a myth because the first platform team I ever managed was back in 2011. 14 years ago. And our job was to protect the development teams that we were working with from all the complexity of the infrastructure, the path to production, the operations, the config management. We had some very early first generation automation tools that allowed us to do that way before containers and Kubernetes became the hot new thing. That makes me sound old, doesn't it? Like, I've been doing this platform thing for 14 years. The only appropriate response to that is to come up to me in the break and say, Hannah, you don't look old enough. That's the only appropriate response. But yes, platform engineering is not just about Kubernetes. Another common myth, platform engineering is all about developer productivity. Let's get developers doing things faster. I was product director at Sneak, a cybersecurity company, and I can tell you that the product we built was absolutely a platform, but we weren't just trying to make developers more productive, we were trying to make security teams more successful. And I think if you're a platform engineer in this room, it's an often forgotten user of your platform, the security teams that you're enabling as part of that. So if platforms aren't all about cloud native and Kubernetes and containers, what are platforms all about? And for me, I always sort of go back to basics here. I say, can you tell me why you're building a platform? Within the context of your organization, your team, your business, your customers, can you tell me why your platform needs to exist? And then the technology choices, they follow on from that. Here's a definition of a platform that I quite like. This is from Team Topologies. They've just released the second edition of Team Topologies, and so this definition may have changed. I haven't had time to read the new book yet, but this is one that I quite like. Team Topologies defines a platform as an internal product, a set of services, tools, and APIs provided by a platform team that enables other teams to self-serve, accelerating their delivery and reducing cognitive load by abstracting away complexity. By this definition, I was building a platform back in 2011. So I'm going to go back to basics and today, technology agnostic for a little while. Why do we talk about platforms? I think we talk about platforms because it's a really useful mental model when we think about how we organize ourselves to deliver software to our users. Very simple diagram, completely oversimplified. This is not an architecture. This is a way of thinking about it. So you have application teams, and they are serving your end users, whoever they may be. It may be e-commerce, it may be a bank, it could be anything, but you have applications that are serving your users. And they build amazing experiences and products that serve their users' needs. The platform serves them. It serves the developers who are delivering the products and services to their users. And your users are actually your internal development teams. And of course, underneath it all, you have some infrastructure, which you could consider a platform in itself. And the infrastructure teams are serving multiple users. They might be serving the application teams directly, or they might be serving the platform teams that build those higher level abstractions on top of it. I'm going to pause at this moment in time to get a bit of a gauge in terms of like how many platform teams or platform engineers we have in the room. So wave your hands if you think you work on a platform team. Waving. Keep waving at me if your platform team has a product manager. Oh, a few hands went down. Okay, keep waving at me if your product manager is doing regular user interviews and user research. I've got 2 hands at the back. Awesome. Okay, so this talk won't be sort of 101 level for some of you. So if your platform engineering team does not have a product manager, is not regularly doing user research, then some of the things that I'm going to talk about might be news to you. I hope they won't be. But But at every level of this very oversimplified diagram, we have a product team, and the product team has users, and they are delivering an amazing product and a valuable service for their users. Their users are different. The platform team is delivering an amazing product and a valuable service for their users, and those users are the application teams. Now, at the beginning of this, I said I was going to talk about AI, sorry, but we have some evolving user needs across our organizations as it is today. We have application teams who are wanting to deliver GenAI or LLM-powered assistance. We have AI agents. We want to be delivering chatbots, whether those be internal or to our customers externally, and we want to be automating using this new technology, using agentic workflows. Some of the platform capabilities that are needed to enable those new user experience include LLMs. Whether you decide to plug into a SaaS via an API, whether you want to self-host a Llama, you need to be providing a large language model as a service to your organization. These things are becoming ubiquitous. These things are not optional anymore. You need to integrate it with data and APIs. You need to integrate it with the knowledge and the context of your organization in order for those things to become genuinely useful. Do not, this is just a sidebar, but do not rely on the knowledge that is internalized in the LLM in order to get things done in your context. You're not going to get very far. These agents and these agentic processes, they must have the context and the guardrails of your organization to be successful. And of course, in the developer tool space, AI coding agents, anyone? Give me a wave if you've used a coding agent recently. Yeah. Yes, like that is one of the most enormous transformations that we've ever seen in the software development landscape. The ability to instruct in natural language an AI coding agent and have it write software for you. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But in the infrastructure layer, we have new considerations, new services that we might need to provide, GPUs, vector stores, and we might need to do that with the existing databases and clusters that we have in our portfolio at the moment. As I said, I truly think that there are some evolving and emerging user needs in our organizations around GenAI for developers and platform teams. GenAI is completely redefining our software development lifecycle. It's accelerating it massively in many cases. So I've lived through and worked through the adoption of agile practices where we went from delivering releases once every 3 to 6 months to shipping something new every 2 weeks, or even better, shipping every change into production using a continuous delivery pipeline, hundreds and thousands of changes shipping every day. That was an enormous step change. Then we had containers. Containers allowed us to remove the complexity of it works on my machine, it doesn't work in production, why is that? That was another acceleration, and now we have coding agents that can spew out hundreds of lines of code in minutes, and we need to make sure that those don't destabilize our products and our services that we're delivering to our users. We need to make sure they don't degrade our security. We need to think about how our internal platforms can enable us to seize this moment and to go faster, but to go faster safely. 90% of technology professionals now use AI in their work, is one of the statistics from the Dora report. And Nathan Harvey was speaking at a conference last week, and he said if 90% of technology professionals who were surveyed say that they're using AI in their work, then 10% are lying. Because everyone is, right? Everyone is, whether you know it or not. These capabilities are creeping into every single product and platform that we use as part of our path to production. And so I think about it this way. I'm like, okay, who are my users? My developers. What are they doing today that they weren't doing yesterday? They're coding with AI-powered tools, and they're building new products with AI-powered capabilities. So you're building with AI and you're building with AI. But the way I think about it is like, actually, even if you're not building a product that's sort of supercharged by like LLMs and AI, you're probably still using these as capabilities within your software, like your software development lifecycle. So it's touching everyone. It's touching every single one of your users. How, as a platform team, can you help them with this change? I kind of covered this bit already, haven't I? So yeah, like any product, your platform must evolve and respond to the needs of your users. And so you may have a roadmap that stretches out into the distance, a 3-6 month roadmap for your platform. But what I would urge you to do today is to go and do some user research. Find out what's the greatest worry for your development team today. Find out what changes they're navigating and figure out how you can help them. As I said, we've got new emerging needs in all layers of the application stack that are being driven by GenAI, and we can help to make this possible by taking a platform mindset. We can reduce the cognitive load on our development team by providing paved roads that provide the components and the capabilities that can be consumed as a service within your organization, so that every development team that's sort of innovating with these technologies today, they don't have to reinvent it every single time. We can improve security by centralizing it and having a tiny bit of governance to make sure that we're doing the right things, that we're doing sensible things with these AI agents. Don't give them access to everything, please. And we can improve reliability by taking a more centralized approach. We can take some of that burden away from the development teams, and we can make sure that some of these things are ready for production earlier than they might have been otherwise. There was an interesting survey recently that said something like 95% of AI pilots fail. And my response to that was like, yeah. Pretty much. Like, this that's not necessarily a failure. This is an age of like incredible experimentation and innovation. And we have these new things that we can build with. And I don't think any of us are sure exactly what we should do with them. And so we have to try and we have to experiment and we have to fail fast. And so when people say, oh my God, 95% of pilots fail, I don't view that as like an actual failure. As long as you learn and as long as you take forward that learning and as long as we share that learning as a community. One of the things that is tempting as a centralized platform team is to control and inhibits this innovation and this experimentation, especially if you're working in a highly regulated environment. And so one thing that I would urge you to do is to pause and think about that. Like, what do we want to optimize for? I would encourage you not to stifle that innovation. You can organize and you can optimize for fast failure, for learning and experimentation. But you can only do those things if you choose that as your goal. If you choose control and you choose gatekeeping and you say, no, my blessed GenAI platform experience, they're just not ready for you to use yet, developers. They'll find another way, they'll find another solution. You're not going to stop this, you're just going to lose visibility. So I would encourage you to go on this journey with your users. Go on this journey with the developers. Choose that as your goal. Choose to create space for that innovation and experimentation. And when you happen upon a success, you can make that available to the rest of your organization as part of your platform. So we go back to where we started. Can you tell me why you're building a platform? Is it about control? Is it about security? Is it about gatekeeping? Or is it about driving innovation? Is it about serving your developers, reducing their cognitive load? Is it about helping your organization change and evolve and thrive? There are so many repeatable patterns with AI that I'm seeing emerge across the businesses that I work with. One of them is RAG, retrieval augmented generation, used by agents to access the knowledge and integrated using MCP, the Model Context Protocol. I don't have time to explain all of these things to you, but this is a pattern that I'm seeing emerging, a repeatable pattern that a platform engineering team can make available to their users very quickly and very easily. Just as one example, so you might have a team working on a way to access their developer documentation internally through a natural language interface, and they might be building their own stack to see whether that's possible. Another team might be looking at providing tools to the support organization. How do we surface customer FAQs through natural language? And another one might be looking at corporate policies. And they might be looking at, okay, well, how can we make it possible for employees to access this without having to raise a ticket with HR to get the answers that they need quicker? And these are all the same architecture. These are all the same architecture that can be reused. And so as a platform team, how powerful would it be if we can make these capabilities available as a service and allow development teams to experiment and work with their users to figure out what use cases are most powerful? How do we avoid the sprawl of inventing the same thing over and over and over again in every development team for every use case? These are just some of the things. This is like my very quick brain dump of some of the capabilities that your platform might want to make available to your developers. As I said, RAG pipelines, vector databases, LLMs as a service, whether that be on-prem or whether that be one of the cloud providers. AI security scanning tools so that you can scan your AI-generated code as it's built so that you can black box test your LLM-based applications to figure out whether or not they are vulnerable to jailbreaking, for example. An MCP tools catalog, an agent builder, how-to guides, communities, that I could go on and on and on. These are all things that would genuinely help your development team today as they navigate this change. And so what I'm up here on the stage telling you this morning is that I think perhaps we need to build a platform for this. And I think perhaps the people in this room are some of the best placed to do that. Can we build an amazing product and a valuable service for our users, the developers who are navigating so much change right now? So I asked the question at the beginning, do platform engineers need to care about GenAI? It's like saying, does a product team need to care about their users? Right? It's a no-brainer. It's a yes. And so as you leave here today, one thing that I would urge you to do is to go and to talk to your developers and to build an amazing product and a valuable service for them. And to have GenAI and all of the capabilities that it is bringing to your organizations at the front of your mind while you try to figure out how best to help them do what they're doing right now. My name's Hannah. I am going to be around all week, and I would love to chat to you more about some of the platforms that I'm seeing out in the wild that are supporting GenAI adoption